What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Tough Runs Don't Last podcast. I'm Grandpal on this screen. That's Michelle Zangulis, also on the screen. Say what's poppin', Michelle.
What's poppin', Michelle?
A few things here and there, I think, anyway. Before we get going, let's give a quick shout out to our sponsor. The Tough Runs Don't Last podcast is presented by Rhino Races. Rhino Races is a virtual race series that offers 5 different races: a 5K, 10K, half marathon, a marathon, and the one of a kind Rhino Ultra. You can sign up for one or all 5 of their races at rhinoraces.com. Run your race at your convenience, track it with your fitness app of choice, screenshot your results as proof of completion, submit that screenshot to rhinoraces.com under the submit results section. Once your results are verified by Rhino Races staff, your award will be shipped to you by mail. Also, check out their gear section while you're there for t-shirts, wristbands, decals, and more. That's rhinoraces.com. Rhino Races is the premier virtual running series. You can find us, the Tough Runs Don't Last podcast, on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on X at TR Don't Last. How much running did you get done this week, Michelle?
Absolutely none.
You did get a lot of moving stuff done, at least.
Yes, I did a lot of packing because I moved this week. So,
Well, that's exciting. I did get some runs in this week, and I would rather be doing that than packing and moving. I had a pretty good normal week of running, a couple workouts during the week, and I paced a half marathon in North Little Rock yesterday. I'll talk about that a little bit. The night before that, I did mow. I mowed my yard, and it's starting to get warm, and I was fine during the mow. I don't think me mowing had anything to do with the half marathon yesterday that I did. I would have gotten more sleep had I done that. Just avoided mowing. But I would rather have gotten the mow done rather than worrying about it, because we're in a period, we've been in a couple week stretch of just rain, scattered showers. So just whenever you can find that window to do yard work, I got to take advantage of that.
yes,
Um, how's your yard looking, Michelle?
my yard does not look good, but it is still very wet. So, I'll find out how wet for sure when we go out there later. And maybe I'll be able to get it mowed tomorrow after work. But I honestly don't know because my backyard was really, really wet yesterday.
Well, I didn't mean to put you on blast like that. Well, I kind of did.
You
I kind
did.
of did mean to put
Yeah,
you on
no,
blast
you
like
did.
that. Yeah, totally did. Anyway, so yeah, take back what I said. Totally meant to do that. Yesterday, okay, it was a Bodies Race Company race. It was the hometown half marathon, and I left the medal in there. I might have you run and go get it. In fact, why don't you do that? Good job, Michelle. It was the hometown half marathon by Bodies Race Company. It's a traveling race. It's a traveling race company for those that don't know what that is, and they kind of travel all around. I don't know where all they go to. I know they came from the Midwest, I believe. Yes, they're based in Kansas City, and a couple of years ago they started making their way to the Southeast, our area. And their races they were small at first just because people didn't know about them, and um it just there wasn't a lot of attention there. There was kind of low numbers, but they would still have the races, and they've only increased. The number of participants have increased every year, so that's a good sign, and that they'll stay around our area. But it's one of those for profit races, so some runners are going to have an issue with that. Some don't care, like me. If it's a reason to run, I'll probably go do it, or I'm interested in doing it. Um, what are your thoughts on for profit races? I don't know. We've probably covered that on here, but I don't know if we've covered it directly, if that makes sense.
I don't see an issue with it. I mean, people enjoy going out and running, and so why not make some money off of that? Because when you think about it, technically, like the majors they're making profits off of that. Like a lot.
The World Marathon Majors,
Yeah.
what you're referring to. Really, any race ever makes money. It's just some go into just 100% charity, or like Little Rock, theirs goes to the Little Rock Parks and Rec Department. It's a Many are fundraisers, and I get it for charity and all that. Like that's of course you're gonna be supportive of that. But some are in the profit business, and I don't think they make as much money as people think they do. It's largely, I think, to keep things going and have enough to pay your employees that you have. Because the body staff, they have a pretty decent sized staff. At their home office, I don't think the staff is real big, but you've got those that travel too, like for these races and put them on. So I mean, you got to pay them something. I don't have an issue with for profit races because every race ever put on typically makes a profit. It's just where that money goes, and of course that's the issue some people have. Um, some goes to charity, and then others just go to really keeping the thing going, keeping the race, the business, whatever it is going. So, yeah, we've talked about it on here before. It's an interesting topic that people like to gripe about mainly.
Yes.
But yesterday's race, well, yeah, it was the hometown half marathon. And okay, so I think I've done two bodies race company races. I paced both. I did the time to Patty one in March in the same area on the river trail in North Little Rock. And when I finished up, I noticed an ambulance was there, and an ambulance was, I mean, had to take care of this woman who was kind of panicky. She had gotten too hot, and yeah, they called the ambulance, and they were trying to calm her down. She wasn't very calm. She wasn't feeling well, and they ended up transporting her. As I was getting ready to go yesterday, I was talking to my buddy Joey, who ran the half marathon yesterday, the guy I worked with, and another ambulance pulled up, and he knew what was going on. It was a different female, I assume, that had gotten overheated, and the ambulance came to take care of her. I assume everything ended up okay. I had taken off before anything had happened, but it wasn't that warm in March when I did it. It wasn't cold, but it wasn't that warm. Yesterday ended up getting very warm. Fortunately, it was a lot of these races start at 8 a.m. This one was at 7 a.m. And I was really at first the night before I was a little bummed just because I didn't go to bed till midnight because I mowed my yard, and I was planning to go to bed at 10 o'clock tops. I told you that. And when I got home, like my plan was to get home from work, take a shower, get something to eat, and just wind down for an hour or two before going to bed with TV or whatever. That didn't happen. I went home, and like I said, we're in a period of scattered showers, and it was supposed to rain Friday, and it didn't. Not where I was anyway. And the sun was out and beaming. And I said, I think I can mow my yard now. And I went out and checked my grass, and it was fine, as in dry enough to mow. So I went ahead and got that over with. But as a result of that, I didn't get cleaned up. I didn't get showered and cleaned up and eat dinner and all that and sit down for an hour or so until, well, I did all that. And then by the time I was done with all that, it was midnight. So I got a little over 4.5 hours of sleep Friday night. But yeah, Saturday at the race, showed up, ran, and again, it started at 7. I think at mile 11, when I was at mile 11, that was the first time I noticed, okay, it's getting hot. And the last couple of miles were a bit of a grind. I hate to sort of admit on here. And by sort of, I mean admit. It had warmed up quite a bit, and I bumped up to the 2 hour group. There were only two pacers there. And so it was a 2:30 time slot and a 2:20 time slot. and I took the 221 just because that was where they assigned me. But when I saw that there were only going to be two pacers, I said, this kind of looks goofy to have a 230 and 220 pacer. Like if you show up to the race and you're a runner and you just see two pacers and it's 220, 230, that looks weird to me. You know what I mean?
I don't think it looks weird. I think if you are hoping to have somebody with you, you'll be upset, but I don't think it's weird because this is a smaller race. Like y'all volunteer to do this.
We all
So
volunteered to pace.
I know that's what I'm saying. Like you can't assume that you're gonna have pacers for whatever your finish time is.
No, you can't. But if there are going to be pacers there, my point is that's kind of a weird spot. 230 seems normal because that's kind of a big one. But the 220 to have a 230 and 220 and that's it. That just I thought that looked funny. I was like, I'm gonna ask and see if they want me to bump up to two or if they'll allow me to bump up to two. And if you're gonna have two pacers, those are really the two ones to have. 2 hour, 230. Those are kind of the two big ones because a lot of people want to hit that sub two. And I'm capable of doing of course of doing, but I'm capable of pacing a 2 hour half marathon. I've done it. Yesterday was the second or third time. I can't remember. I think the third time, but I can't recall for sure. Um, but yeah, I'm capable of it, but I don't enjoy it. It's not very. It's not a laid back run for me. Like you kind of have to. I have to put in a little. I have to put in some work as I like the pacing gigs where it's just a comfortable, it's a very comfortable run throughout. And I was fine really for the most part yesterday. But when I hit mile 11, I was like, okay, these last couple of miles are going to be a little bit of a grind just because it had warmed up so much and it was very humid. How much did you get out yesterday?
I was out a little bit yesterday, but not a lot. But I was just talking to my neighbors outside and it was so humid. Like we were all just like sweating, just standing out there.
Yes. Even when I got home and showered and all that yesterday, I went outside to check my mail and just walking to the mailbox and back, I was already starting to glisten a little
Yeah.
bit. It was that humid. But yeah, the last couple of miles were a bit of a grind, but I got it done. I came in on time, as always. My chip time was 1:59:35. The distance was short though. I looked at the as I was coming in, I looked up at the finish and how far away it was, which wasn't very far. And I was like, okay, that's definitely going to be short. And I'm too OCD. I would have kept going or something. I would have found a way to get my watch to say 13.11 or what have you. I take into account the Strava tax.
Yeah.
But well, no, a half marathon is 13.11 miles technically, for those wondering. That's what 21 kilometers equates to. But anyway, when I noticed I was going to be short, it was along the river trail, like by the water, before you get to that bridge where the submarine is and all that.
Mhm.
So I just was running. I turned around and was running away just to get more distance on my watch. And I just ran to a certain point where I was like, okay, that'll be good enough. And then I turned around and I came back. And there was one guy in particular who was with me pretty much the whole way. He would go ahead sometimes, he'd fall back sometimes, but we'd always end up back by each other at some point. But he saw me doing that and just kind of looked at me and grinned. And I was like, I just said, yeah, I'm really OCD. I know it's going to be short. I'm just trying to get my for sure half marathon in distance wise. And so, of course, he just kept going. And I came in when I came in. 1:59:35 was my chip time. 1:59:40 was the clock time. So did my job. And they did have a cooler of ice cold bottled water, which was nice because had gotten warm. I grabbed two. I really wanted to sit down, and it was so humid that okay, I wore my feature socks, which I love.
Mhm.
Those are my new marathon socks, features. Like just for every marathon I'm doing, feature socks is what I'm going with. It was so humid, and it's just that time of year. My by mile 7, my shoes were sloshing. Yeah, the shoes were sloshing with sweat, and that just happens this time of year. Like they didn't get now. There were a couple of spots where the trail was wet, but it was mostly from sweat. And but when I got done, I just wanted to go sit down, and I just grabbed the waters. I went and found a spot in the shade on a bench, a park bench along the river trail, and I downed the first bottle of water, and it was warm enough that I wasn't feeling all there, like I wasn't feeling very good. I didn't think I was going to throw up or anything, but I was like, I need to recover. And then my stomach started to not cramp, but I could tell like I wasn't feeling good, and I was like, oh my god, I might have to go take a dump like immediately. And it kind of hit suddenly, and I was like, uh oh, like, and I started to get up and make my way toward the bathroom. I was even thinking about leaving. I was like, do I have time to get out of here and like make it home or somewhere else? Because it was just a porta potty and those ones that almost look like campground style bathrooms.
Yeah.
And I got it from the bench, and then I just ripped a really hard fart, and it went away. So there's this meme of Adam Devine saying, um, I didn't think about this before I opened my mouth, but it says, sex is great and all, but have you ever farted a stomach ache away? And so, yeah, that was basically what I did. I farted a stomach ache away. And I was better after that. I was just really gassy, it turned out,
It happens.
apparently. But I did that. I had my second bottle of water, and then I went and got a couple more just because it was warm. But it was a good turnout yesterday. There were quite a bit of people there racing, and yeah, I showed up, did what I needed to do, got out of there, went home and showered and relaxed for a little bit, and then came and hung out with you last night. But it was a good weekend of running. I'm going to get a workout run in today because I just think I need it. Uh, Even though I got it done yesterday, I felt like this shouldn't be this difficult, even with the heat. I was like, I need to go get acclimated better, train harder. That was what went through my head, as far as wanting to get a run in today. Because normally I would take the day off, but I'll run today, tomorrow, Wednesday, and then get
Friday.
ready for yeah, and then get ready for my 1 mile run Friday, 1 mile race, which is the SoMa Main Street Mile
Mhm.
in well
So much.
in SoMa. Yeah, the okay, yeah. I told you about this. Somebody at the girl I know at the race yesterday. We said that we were both doing SoMa next Friday, and she had asked me where it was, or she said it's over in Argenta, isn't it? Which is like North Little Rock, kind of the new developmental hotspot in North Little Rock, um, next to the river. And I was like, no, it's in Soma. This is what I was like. And she said, where is that? And I'm thinking South Main Street. I didn't know how else to describe it. It
Yeah.
was like downtown Little Rock ish. I think I said close to downtown, but it's pretty much downtown Little Rock, right?
I think people will argue that it's not downtown, but it is close.
Yeah.
It is close.
It's
It's
pretty,
like that's its own district now. It's become the Soma district.
yeah.
So
I didn't know how else to describe it. It's like
yeah, South Main.
it's like I told you when like my niece Haley, when she was younger, when she was in that why phase of just answered every question with why or statement with why. And she said, what she would be like, what does she'll say, what does what mean? Or something like that. Just your basic thing, like it means what? Like, what are you doing? She's like, yeah, but what does what mean? It's like, okay. It was kind of like that for me, is what I compared it to. She said, "Where is it?" I was like, "SoMa, like Little Rock.
Yeah.
We're in Little Rock, SoMa." Like I didn't know how else to say
You
it.
didn't show your medal.
Oh, I did. I did not. I had a nice little transition into SoMa, but I did not show the hometown
You
half marathon
didn't.
medal. It's a license plate,
Yeah, it's like a whole license
a
plate.
full license plate. I didn't take it out of the little wrapper thing.
But it is like it's plastic metal.
Yeah.
So it's I mean, but it's raised like a license plate and everything. Um, so it looks really nice. It's blue and it's got windmills on it. And the license plate is, for those of you just listening, is BRC 131. So that's Body's Race Company 13.1.
And it says half marathon under there
Okay.
in case that doesn't do it for you. Or
So it's
131 miles, is that what that means?
it is nice though. Like
Yeah, I
when
like it.
when you showed me what the metal was gonna be, I was just expecting it to be like a solid piece of plastic, just like the cheap metals. But I will say Body's Race Company does have like fun metals.
Yeah, I
That's like
agree
a
with
fun
that.
thing about that. And so I'm surprised that this one is like raised like a license plate and it's metal. Like it's nice.
The guy in charge of putting the pace groups together, he had originally told me about this medal back at the time the Patty went in March. He said, "Have you seen the hometown half one? It's like a full license plate." And he had said that, and I thought, "Yeah, I'm sure it's a good size and all that." But no, it's a like a full license plate,
Yeah.
basically. It even kind of feels like one,
Yeah.
pretty much. It's a little bit lighter than like a real one would
Mhm.
be, but yeah, that's what it is.
Yep.
So it's different. I like it, and of course the size of people. A couple of people at the race posted about it, like on Facebook yesterday, and people commented, "Oh, I didn't know it was going to look like that." The medal, I would have showed up for that. But yeah, I like it. The half's my favorite distance, so I like to. Anytime I can go get a half in, it's. I don't know, it's nice, and it was hot, but I'll take that over cold. I know I'm kind of in the minority on that, but yeah, I'll take the heat over the cold any day. That's just me. But back to Soma,
Mhm.
you and I are both running that on
Yes.
Friday, and it is a Friday night race
Yes.
in the Soma district in Little Rock.
Mhm.
We both did it last year for the first time.
Yes.
The mile distance is my least favorite distance. It's just for me 6 minutes of hurt. You're basically just hurting for 6 minutes. And but then it's over. And then you're like, oh, it's over, and that's it. The race is done. And I do like that it's on a Friday night. Um, it just kind of gives you the rest of your weekend to not worry about anything else. I don't have to go to bed early Friday night if I don't want to. It's cool to it's different. So
I am looking forward to what I like about the mile races is that they do the different heats. So there's open women, open men.
explain what that is.
So well, for theirs, it's over 6 minutes.
Yes.
So SOMA is if you are gonna run in over 6 minutes, you do the open and then gender. So open female, open male. And then they have the elite. And the elite at SOMA is under 6 minutes.
Okay, last year it was under 5 minutes.
No, it's under six. Or is it under 5:30? It's 5:30 for men and
No,
six
no.
for
I
women.
think it's 5:30 for women and 5 for men. That's what it was a year ago. Because Todd and like Steve and them were in the men's one.
Oh, it is above five. You're right.
I mean under or what?
Well, the men's open mile is above 5 minute a mile.
There you go.
So the women's elite is under six, men's elite is under five. Um,
It's fast.
and the men's elite last year, it was so fast.
Yeah, it was
Like
fast.
there were a lot of people, and there were only a couple people who shouldn't have been in it.
There was one person that I
Like,
remember. I was like, "What are they doing there?"
yeah,
I was faster than they were.
but that was the thing. There were only a couple people that really should not have been in that one.
Here's the thing.
Everyone else should have,
Yeah,
and it was like wind as they ran by you. It was so fast.
because there's a little barricade at the start and
Yeah,
finish, and we went and stood by the barricade. I was like, I want a good spot for
yeah,
this. And when they run by in that group, yeah, it's just a gust of wind that goes by you.
yeah.
There, the one guy who clearly didn't belong in the elite last year. Here's the thing: he wasn't that
He,
slow for a normal
yeah,
person.
he
It
wasn't
was like 6.5 minutes. But when you're comparing that to
under
under
5.
5, it's a clear difference
Yeah,
of ability there.
yeah.
It'd be like me running against Olympians. That's kind of what it looked like.
It was wild. Like when we went to the Wildcat Extra Mile for the elite, I thought they were fast because they are.
It wasn't as strict, yeah, as far
Yeah,
as like the time. It
but
was 6 minutes or under.
the SoMa guys, oh my goodness. And so I'm excited to see them run again this year because that was wild to see.
And they go on last, like they
Yeah,
run last, so you're already done with your race, so you don't have that in the back of your mind,
yeah.
like, hey, I got to go do this. You're already done, so you can just go enjoy the show. So I do look forward to seeing that. Um, I think the winner last year came in at 4:16. I think it was 4 minutes 16 seconds. It looks like Michelle's going to double check that. I ran it in 6:06 last year. I was trying to come in under 6 minutes. I did not do that.
4:15.97.
Okay, 4:15.97. Second and third were 4:21 and 4:21.
Yeah.
Just tenths of a second difference between those two. But yeah, it was really fast. I was 6:06 a year ago. I'm still going to try for the sub 6 this year. I don't know that's going to happen. I think I am faster than I was last year. According to all the other races I've done, I am. So we'll see. But the mile's different. I thought I was in better shape for SoMa than I was at Wildcat last year, and I was 1 second slower. But I also didn't feel like I was dying after SoMa, and I felt that way at Wildcat. Wildcat, though, my buddy Trevor ran it too, who is faster than me, and my goal is just kind of to keep up with him. And when I was for a quarter mile into that race, but I realized I was like, I can't keep up with him. He ended up coming in at like 5:50 or
Wow.
something like that.
Good for him.
Um, but I realized I was like, I can't keep up. And at like a half a mile in, I had run out of gas, and I was basically just trying to maintain to the finish, like just keep this to the finish. But came in at 6:05 at SoMa. I felt good. Really, it was really kind of the perfect run for me because I didn't feel like I gave too much. I felt like I had a strong kick at the finish, and but I was a second slower. Um, we'll see what happens Friday. I'll try to do it, but I'm either going to do it or I'm not. So we'll see. I'm not too worried about it either way, but that's the goal. If I don't get it, I don't get it. But I'm gonna go run hard Friday night for what's hopefully just under 6 minutes, and yeah, that'll be that. I'll do a mile warm up beforehand. I'll do a mile cool down probably. I assume I will after that, and that'll be that. So yeah, Soma Friday night,
Mhm.
and that's it until the next week, which is the Benton 2 mile.
Smiley.
Yeah, 2 mile race, which I ran in high school and I liked it then. I'm not crazy about it now, but I like the 2 mile more than I like the mile.
I don't like the Benton 2 mile course.
I don't have an issue with it.
It is a
I like
lot
it.
of like slow incline or long incline. So it's not
Is it?
like, yeah, like the whole area around the river center. is a slow hill. And
Now, when you
so
you go up to that,
when you turn around,
yeah, the turnaround, it is a slow
it
build.
then it's downhill.
It's steady. It's a
Yeah.
steady uphill and downhill.
But
But that's it.
but it's for a while. No, when you're turning off of, like, when you're turning onto the main course, it's an incline there too. There's two different inclines in that race, like steady ones. So they don't look, and most people probably are like, "Oh, this isn't a big deal." But when you're me, you notice. I notice
They
when
notice
we do it
too.
on the bike too.
So, SoMa has a. Well, I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
So SoMa has a steady little incline.
Yeah.
So how it works is you start in the middle, like kind of at the beginning of South Main Street. You run a certain direction, and then you make a right turn and go around like a block, basically,
Yeah.
right?
And the block is
The
uphill
block
and
is
very
a half of the block is a steady uphill, and you do feel it when
you
you're
feel
yeah,
it.
you feel it when you're running that fast. You can definitely tell, like, oh, I'm going uphill now.
Yeah.
But then you get to come downhill for a little bit,
Mhm.
and then there's a little dip up at the end, but that's it.
Yeah.
Um,
I didn't really feel the end last year,
no,
but that
yeah,
steady incline at Soma, you feel it.
there
But
is
then you have a pretty nice, like, you can catch back up because it is a nice incline down.
yes, and that might be why I felt part of the reason I felt so good at the end last year, because you get to kind of come downhill. Uh, but Wildcat is super straight.
And flat.
Yeah,
Very flat.
that it is straight. I meant to say flat, but it is also straight.
It is.
Yeah, you run straight for a while, you make a left, and then you run straight some more, and then you do a quick turnaround, and then you just come back, and it's very flat. Flat is what I meant to say,
Yeah.
but it is also straight for the most part. What's the straightest race you've ever run?
Hmm.
Mine will be straighter than your answer.
Probably. Um, I don't know. Does probably the Stampede, because you're kind of on that river trail and it's just straight. That the 10K in
For
Fort
the
Smith.
yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
You are very straight for a
mostly
very
straight.
long time. And the only like curve really is to like get around and over some water. Like they built like the curve and then you're straight again.
Yeah, because you have to go over a little bridge.
Yeah.
Um, which I don't like going over those little bike
Oh, I
path
did not like
bridges
that.
because you can feel it. You can feel your body vibrating, especially if you're running hard.
Yeah, I
It's
didn't
just
like that.
it almost makes you queasy for a little bit. The easy answer for me is the Great Duck Race 5K and 10K. I've only done the 5K there in Stuttgart. They have it during their
Ducks Unlimited thing.
yeah, their Duck Gumbo Festival, what have you. I think they call it Duck Gumbo or something. Whatever their big duck festival is in mid-November, that's when they have that race, and it's Stuttgart is super flat, like our hometown in Lone Oak. It's very fat, flat farmland, and this race is flat and about as straight as an arrow. You start in the middle of downtown Stuttgart and you just run straight forever. You make a right and you go down a street and then you go down another street and then you do like a long turnaround on this little loop, this cul-de-sac looking thing,
Mhm.
and then you just come back and then it's just straight forever. And forever, I mean about a mile and a half or so. And then you finish that way. So that's easily the straightest and flattest race I've done, and that was where I got my 5K PR for 2019 version. But that remained my PR for a long time. I was 21:52 that day. First time I broke 22 minutes in the 5K, at least as an adult. So I was 21:52. But last year at Pumpkin Run, I was 21:40. So I did
Mhm.
beat that. and that's in Lone Oak, our hometown. I was like, I got to show up, and I was in pretty good shape then too. So, but yeah, so SoMa Friday, and then another 2 mile run after that, and then we both basically get a break from racing at least for a while. I don't have anything after that until nothing in July. I think the next race is the Hope. After that is the Hope Watermelon 5K in Hope, which is usually very hot and very fast. Yeah, it was warm, and that was fresh off of my 5 week crash course of anatomy and physiology too. So my training was severely lacking during those 5 weeks. The one I went on vacation toward the end of that 5 week class period, which I'm glad I did just because I got to focus on school a little bit. We went to Destin. I went with the family. Now, a large chunk of that time I was studying. So that kind of wasn't fun. While my family was at the beach, I was in our uh, beach house, but just studying basically. So that wasn't fun, but I did get an A in the class, so it was worth it. And it was nice to not have to take it in the fall too. So I don't have any regrets about that. But that week in Destin was the only week I got to have a normal training routine during that time because I didn't have to go to work. So I would wake up, I'd have breakfast, I'd go for a run, and it was so hot. It was so hot in Florida then. Destin, Florida in July. Yeah, it was. I could not get more than 4 miles.
Yeah.
Like I four was all I could get in tops, and I'm talking running dang near a 10-minute pace. I was around 9:30, 9:45 because I was like, I got a sub 40 at least. I got a sub 40 at least. And that was tough. I got 3 runs in that week, 3 or 4. And the rest of the time I spent studying. But that was the only time I got to have really just a regular week of training during that 5 week period. So when I got to Hope, um, I really had to kind of get that 5K out. I was not at my best, but I did all right. I think I was like 23 and a half minutes or no, or right at 23, something like that. It wasn't my best time, but it wasn't my worst time either. I got through it and yeah, and then I got to have a normal training schedule after that. But right now, training's been on point. I've been pleased with things. Um, how do you think Friday is going to go for you, Michelle?
Um,
This is SoMa we're talking about.
yeah. I honestly don't know. This is gonna be a really busy week for me, so I'm gonna be tired. Like I'm gonna be so tired by the time Friday evening rolls around.
Probably.
So, um, my goal will be 13 minutes. I think last year
Under 13?
under 13. I think last year I was 11 something,
I
maybe.
was like, don't ask me. I don't remember.
I'll look it up. But 13 would be my goal.
Either way, I can tell you how this is going to end.
No, I was 12:16.
I was going to say that seemed kind of fast
Yeah,
for you.
12:16.
12:16. You were
So,
literally almost double. You were a little over double what I did.
yeah,
But that's
which is
okay.
normal.
Yeah, different strokes for different folks. Uh, but I mean, I can tell you exactly what's going to happen with you.
It's not important what's gonna happen. I'm gonna run, walk, and be
She's
done.
going to finish. She's going to look panicked and flush, and she's going to say, I'm not okay. She's going to cry a little bit, and she'll have some water, and then she'll eventually be okay. She consistently does this after every race. Again, heart condition.
Yeah.
So there's that. But that's what I would bet money that's what's going to happen. Me, I'll just be really tired and then I'll have some water and then I'll shoot the breeze with some people and then I'll go for a mile cool down.
I'm hoping that this year they have water for the slower people. They stopped passing out water to the finishers, and we had to go find water. Like,
I think they just ran out of water.
but that's the thing. Like,
By that I mean they'd run out of cups, like with water in it or
well,
something.
no,
I don't
because
know. I
they
don't
had
know.
refilled for y'all because we ran first, and y'all had what? No, that's the thing. They like stopped passing them out because they're like, oh, these are the slow people.
I
They
don't.
don't need water.
I don't think that's what they said.
And then it wasn't easy to find either.
Sure wasn't.
Like, so that's my hope this year is that the water is
That's
readily accessible.
hang on. That's not what was said at the race. What she said. Let's
It's not.
be clear on that.
That's what my thought process was.
That's what Michelle thought when there was no water. Um, but yes, the slower folks need
We need
water
water
too.
too.
Yes. But so do the fast folks.
Everyone needs water.
Everyone
Water
needs
should
water.
be easily accessible for all finishers.
Yeah, I mean, water is necessary for us to live as multicelled organisms,
Yes.
so it makes sense. Uh, what if it's the same thing happens this year?
I'm gonna be so mad. I'm gonna be so mad. Don't look, look. I don't think anybody from Blue Rose listens to us. If you do, and you listen to this before Friday, please have water readily accessible. Or if you're going to run out, have your finish line people tell people where to get water. Water's over there. No one knew where to get water.
This is what their third year
Yeah.
as a race. I know they did a. There was a timing mishap last year, but that wasn't that wasn't the race itself's fault.
It was a very well put on event. They
Very
had
well done.
vendors, like yes, it was very good. My issue was water was not readily accessible for me.
Is that the only race you've done that didn't have water?
Yes.
So
Yes.
the main time that's happened to me was in 2000, and I'll say it because it's what it is. It was 2011 at the Hog Marathon. They had I now that was one of my slower. That was my first ever marathon, so I came in at like at 5:18 something. I remember it was 5:18, 5 hours 18 minutes, and I've got like no. I mean, I it took everything I had to finish. I mean, it's my first marathon. I didn't know how to I didn't know how to really do it other than run. How to strategize, how to how to hydrate during the race was the main thing, and because I did not do a good job of that at all. And when I came in at the finish, I got nothing left. I really needed some water. They had no cold water. The only water they had been sitting out in the sun all afternoon and it warmed up quite a bit. So I mean, it was hot water coming out of this bottle. Like I couldn't even drink it. It was so hot. And shortly after that, I threw up. Now I think my stomach could have settled enough had I had some ice cold water. Still might have thrown up, but it would have been very beneficial to have some ice cold water.
Yeah.
But that's the only time that's ever happened to me where I was like, I really need some water, and they didn't have any. Um, there was an issue at the some people didn't get water at the Hog Eye in April this year.
Mhm.
I didn't have that problem. I had water everywhere I went, but the pacer after me had told me that they were asking to just refill your cup and all that because they run out of cups, I think it was, and I think they had even run out of water in some spots. But it's not easy putting on a race to be fair, also. But yeah, that's the main thing. What are the main points you want covered at a race?
Traffic control.
Okay,
There are some races that do that really well, and there are some that don't. And I should not have to run next to a car. If like that is a big thing for me. Traffic control and then water. Um, those are my two. And I guess like if I'm gonna do a third, I'll do top three. Like course markings.
Well, just
I
whatever. It doesn't have to be a number.
but that's my three. Like I tend to like be with groups, so I'm that's not a big deal for me. But I do know that there are some courses that people, if you're by yourself, you could make a wrong turn or something.
Like if you're a leader or something in the
Yeah.
race, if you're winning the thing. A buddy in my run club lost the run the line half marathon because there's a confusing point where you're supposed to turn left along this bike path, and it's easy to just go straight, which is the wrong direction. And he didn't realize that till the guy behind him, the second place guy, yelled at him wrong way. And this, they were a good, I couldn't tell you how far away he was, but he was unable to catch the second place guy as a result because he had run so far in the
Mhm.
opposite direction, or in the off course. So those are good ones. Course markings. I was almost hit by a car in the first year I did the Fort Smith half marathon in Fort Smith, Arkansas. But that wasn't the course's fault. Like they had done a good job with traffic control. This person was just a lunatic who ignored them all and just went through it anyway because they were like, "No, I need to go over here, and that's where I'm going." And person almost hit me with their car, and I flipped them the double bird, and I was about to like I was so mad I was ready to fight. Like that's how mad I was. That's how close they were to hitting me, and I'm like, because they had even like hit their parking brakes at some point when I hit the double bird, and I was so mad, I was like, okay, I guess we're about to do this. And before I could even like run over to him or anything, there was a woman who I guess was a volunteer, directing, or what am I trying to say?
Like directing traffic.
Directing traffic, just trying to keep people off the course that didn't need to be on the course, etc. And before I could even really do anything beyond what I had done, she was out in the road yelling at them, the people who did that. And I was like, okay, well, she's got everything under control clearly, and she did. So that wasn't on the course; that was the lunatic driver. But yeah, those are good ones. You need plenty of water, a clearly marked course. What was the other thing you said? Oh yeah, traffic control. And the other one for me, and this is a big one, accessible bathrooms. If not, you don't need it for a mile race. You don't need more than one. Um, but just make sure you have plenty of bathrooms available before the race, like near the race start finish area. Make sure the bathroom situation's under control. There's plenty of them, plenty of toilet paper, etc.
Yeah.
Uh,
That was an issue last year at Hope. So it's at like a complex. It starts and finishes. There's like ball fields.
yeah,
And
like
there's like a
baseball, softball.
yeah. And so there are plenty of bathrooms. Like that was not an issue. There were so many bathrooms. The women's bathroom before the race ran out of toilet paper. Like there was no more toilet paper.
The women's lines are also just so long
Yeah,
before a race. Like they're because it's a process for y'all to
it is.
go to the bathroom. Like just number one,
Mm.
guys, they can just go in, pull it out, and, get it done, and then get out of there. Women, it's a different ordeal. It's a longer process. I guess that's the reason,
Yeah,
and we don't need toilet paper for that.
yeah, we do.
Yeah, but that is a problem. If you don't have if you don't have enough toilet paper. Um, what else do we need to cover that we haven't covered?
I think that's everything.
Okay. There was one other thing I was going to ask, but I can't think of it. Okay, what what distance do you think is the minimum for there to be like porta potties along the course?
I think a 5K.
5K and above,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. You definitely don't need it for a mile, and you don't need it for 2 mile. I
No,
would say though, for 2 mile, you should have a water stop.
you should. You should have a water stop. They'll have a water stop, I think, at the 1 mile.
I don't remember if they did or
I
not. I
think
know
so.
Wildcat did. I didn't remember if SoMa did.
Someone probably does too. I mean, I'm not going to stop there. I'm not going to do it for a 5K.
I,
If it's hot and there's a 10K, then I'll stop for water. I did it at the Stampede one a couple of years ago because it was really hot that day. We had really nice weather at Stampede last year,
it was supposed to rain and it ended up not raining, and so it was just kind of like overcast, so it wasn't too hot.
and it was cooler. Yeah,
Yeah.
Stampede the 2 years ago, the season I ironed, it was really hot, and at the turnaround, at the halfway point turnaround, they had one of those little bottles of Gatorade, and it was nice and cold, and I just chugged the
Mhm.
whole thing, and I was good after that. So I very much needed it then.
Yeah. At Stampede this last year, they had at the turnaround water, Gatorade, pickle juice, and they had like ice cold rags. Um, and so I got pickle juice, water, and a rag.
That was one that I like Stampede, which I'm doing it again this year. That was one I thought of that did not have the bathroom situations figured out the first year I did it. I had no issues last year, but also didn't really have to use the bathroom this year. But the first year I did it, the lights were off in the bathroom. It was like a city building, and the lights were off, and it was one of those things you needed a key to turn it on. So people were pooping and stuff with the lights out for a while. They had run out of toilet paper. There just weren't enough um, bathroom spots, and yeah, it was just a bit of a mess. And I had to go number two then too. And along the course, there wasn't really anything either. And you're on this what's an old it's a bike path, but it's basically an old railroad track that's been turned into a bike path. And so there's just you've got this bike path and you just got nothing around you. And I remember thinking at a certain point, like my stomach doesn't hold up. I might have to run into just run down the hill and
And I think
pop a
last year
squat
at the
in the grass.
turnaround, they only had one porta potty. Like that's the only spot is at the turnaround, and I think it was just one porta potty.
Yeah. Can't remember. I didn't have to go last year, so it wasn't an issue last year. As long as I don't have to go, yeah, you're not going to notice whether or not it's a problem. Uh, but I don't know, just an interesting thing I thought of. Like, when do you need another porta potty? Like, what distance? I guess you need one if you got to go. But what distance do you start looking into? What are you doing that for?
I need to go to the bathroom.
Okay. You could just, I was like, I don't know. We're not on a timer. I don't know what this means. But we basically covered everything, and Michelle needs to go to the bathroom. So for those of you that didn't hear it, so we're gonna get out of here. We could have paused it.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. We've said everything we wanted to say on the show this week. We'll see y'all next time, and we'll have a couple of races to talk about, and then we'll figure stuff out beyond that. So life happens, so things will happen between then and then,
Yep.
if that's the way to say it. But anyway, we're gonna get out of here. See y'all next time. I'm Michelle. I'm not Michelle. That's Michelle. I'm Graham. Deuces, y'all.
See ya.